Hey guys, welcome back to the trail, such as it is this morning. It can't all be glamour. Here we are, we've just left Hightown. We're on the Sefton coastal path, so we're in Liverpool. We're heading south on a 16 miler. We're going to go across Crosby beach. We're going to see the Iron Men statues there. Then we're going to pick up our gold friend, the Leeds Liverpool Canal, head northeast, pick up the Trans-Pennine Trail again, all the way back round. So we're on a 16 mile circular today. I've seen prettier beaches, I'm not going to lie. It's a Sunday and it's quite cool today. Got the gloves on, got the, let me show you this. Oh, official merch. Pilgrim Hiker hoodie there. Cheers mum. And yeah, it's going to be a cool one today. It has given sunshine spells for later, but we will see. We will see indeed. So we've got about 4 miles to Crosby itself. I don't know if that includes the beach. Well, that is grim. You can see the wind turbines out in the bay there. A couple of boats are moving up and down. You can hear the engines from here, but nice and quiet this morning. Early start with the crack of dawn. So we're just passing through sand dunes. I expect to see a few dog walkers, but like I said, we're following the Sefton coastal path for the time being. So let's crack on, eh? I'm liking these finger posts. Very helpful on a bit of a maze, which these dunes are. Very helpful to get through to the other side. A lump of stone. Let's see what it's supposed to be. Pebble. Produced by a bunch of kids. Former pupil. Well, beautiful. Sort of. So way off there behind, you can see the coast going on up to Southport. And I do have a walk to do up there, but so it's quite an urban walk and I'm not sure how I want to do it just yet. But I do want to show off how they've turned Southport around, done a really good job compared to Blackpool. They've really invested money in the front, a bit like Cleveley's was last weekend on the camping trip. Some beautiful coastline now, and some nice shops on the high street. So I do kind of want to go and do that video, but I'll save it. So yeah, you can see as the coast moves all the way around, heading north, Southport, and then onto Blackpool and Morecambe. A lot of that area we've covered. So we got, as you've noticed, you may have seen, there's plenty of dog walkers out here, which I expected. And on the map, the dunes were only a short spell, it's about 1.5 miles from Hightown, and then it was going to become track, which is this brilliant tarmac, nice and spongy, soft path. So I really am just ambling along. I'm not rushing, though I'm aware that I've got daylight issues as normal. But you can see the sheer ugliness that these wind turbines out in the sea are doing. And I'm not going to get into a rant on the green issue, but that can't be good for the environment, regardless of what you say. And they're appearing everywhere. On Yorkshire Dales, you've seen on other videos. We've even walked under some of the giant ones. Anyway, let's not get downcast, that's the word. We're seeing some blue skies peeping through. I'm confident we're going to get some sun. Right, let's carry on. So here we are on Crosby Beach, and we've got a cold and cutting wind coming down. And you can see behind us, obviously we're at Liverpool and we're near the docks. Massive shipping containers, container boats coming down, absolutely massive, slowly making their way into the dock. But here we are. This is Another Place, it's called. It's by Anthony Gormley, and these 100 cast iron statues stretch between Waterloo and Blundell Sands. They're just dotted around, each one 6'2", cast in the image, the body shape of the artist himself. 6'2", 650 kilograms of cast iron, about 1,400 pounds. And as you can see, each one is suffering some serious erosion, and each one has a tag on its wrist numbering which of the 100 that it is. It's quite weird. I really did not expect this beach to be so busy in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Runners, dog walkers, just shell collectors, horse riders. So it's hard to tell the statues from the people, and it's quite strange. This week I've been listening to the audio book of a game I played. It'll just appear here. Some of you may be aware of it, the Death Stranding, and this scene just seems to fit with that landscape. That it's a novelisation of a video game. We called it Hiking Simulator. You basically got to take parcels around the game and complete the campaign storyline. I'll show you a clip now. And in the novelisation of Death Stranding, it follows the story of Sam Porter Bridges in a post-apocalyptic America where a disaster's happened and the seam between the dead and the living is merged. So there are things called BTs, which are the spirits of the undead, and they populate areas of the world, and if the dead meet the living, it causes an antimatter reaction and a void out. But the main character, Sam Bridges, he's what they call a repatriate. He's basically can't be killed. If his body's destroyed, he's basically resurrected. And it's absolutely bonkers, the storyline, and it's full of, I want to say, Japanese mythology about the human being heart and car, soul and body, and it sort of revolves around that, but has sort of no, what would I call it, eschatology, no understanding of the future things or what happens when we die. It's just this weird state, and when you die you go to the beach before moving on, and it looks pretty much like this, bleak and grey. And so Sam's job is to rebuild America, reunite people in this crazy post-apocalyptic nightmare. And the game itself was alright. I enjoyed the hiking parts, though you did get vehicles eventually. But to read or listen to the audio book of the novelisation is also good. There's hiking elements in it. But as I say, I don't subscribe to the strange mythos of the creator, and it permeates the entire story, giving you this impression that death is a very strange, that one's been painted blue, that death is this big mysterious thing and we can't know any of the answers, but we can, and I've said that before in previous videos. So yeah, someone's painted this one blue. So yeah, Death Stranding, pop it up again. If you don't want to play the game, the novelisation's quite good. I don't know if you can get it in paperback, but I definitely on Audible. That's alright. I'm still reading Audie Murphy, but I'll talk about that later. I think we've rambled on this beach long enough. Let's resume the path, carry on southwards. 4 miles down, break it up into quarters. So quarters, 16 miles, 4 mile breaks, and yep, done it again. Forgotten my cup. Devastated. It wasn't in my box this morning where I normally, my staging area, it wasn't there, which from last weekend must still be in my car camping box or in the wash. So I'll have 2 small cups, and I'm going to have this, the Snickers, the humble Snickers. God, yum. Absolutely manic busy on a Sunday morning. Behind us over there, the sprawling mass of Liverpool dock. Absolutely humongous. And then looking out into the sea, we've got eyes on Birkenhead, even to Rill and Prestatyn. It's still not got warm yet, still cold, but it's winter, about 10 degrees. Well, we just walked through, obviously, as we came off the beach at Crosby into Waterloo. We walked through Waterloo, I don't know what you call it, borough centre. Managed to pick up a couple of energy drinks and a travel mug for a few quid. That's all I'm prepared to pay. So we've got something decent to drink out of. Now we're heading through some sort of wasteland, really. Heading still northeast-ish towards the canal. And we're not far from the start of the Leeds and Liverpool canal, which is sort of Vauxhall in Liverpool. And then that'll carry on all the way up to Leeds. It kind of makes me think about walking the entire of the canal. Be quite interesting. But let's put that in the back of the book for now. back on our familiar old friend here, the Leeds Liverpool Canal. Can't say it's the most pleasant section, and there was a marker back there, 121 miles to Leeds, 6 back the other way into Liverpool itself. But we're walking through this along the towpath up to Netherton, and then from there we're going to break off, grab the Trans-Pennine Trail and a long straight stretch north-northwest-ish as we start our return journey. We're not far from lunchtime, to be fair, about 7.5 miles done. Yeah, I'll be glad to put Liverpool behind me. I think it can't help but escape, can't help the sort of taint of industry that marks the place, because obviously the docks are a massive deal, but that litter problem from last time hasn't gone away by any stretch. Well, they've made big efforts on the beach to try and clean it up, so it can kind of get you down after a bit, but I'm not going to let that put us off. We're going to carry on. We're going to find somewhere to have some lunch for heater wrap today. We've got another can of Monster to have and a decent cup to drink out of. What more could we possibly ask for? Am I looking behind myself? Because I've got to check for cyclists. For some reason today my legs feel exhausted. I haven't done out. Obviously last weekend we were camping at Bowser's Hill Farm. There's a video up of that. And so I've not really done any serious walking apart from the dog and work. Well, it just is what it is. I'm not going to sweat myself over it. Proper brew this time. Oh yeah. Definitely ready for that break. Just a park bench off the canal, still busy. The sun is out, kind of. Oh, glad I got that mug. Much cheapness. So, latest book at the moment. Here we go. That's Audie Murphy's biography of his time in World War II. It's quite a harrowing read. Got over halfway through, and then he's talking to a nurse in the hospital, and she asks how old he is, and he says 19. And you kind of forget as you're reading the book how young he was, how more young all of them were. Incredible to go through that. I do recommend it. It just shows the calibre of men back then, and women, because some of those nurses working in field hospitals and as medics and under barrages, enemy fire, horrendous. Nowadays people just lose their mind over the pronouns. Well, like I said, I'm going to break off from here, hit the Trans-Pennine Trail. It's a very strange road, super straight line. Interesting to see what that looks like. But I'm going to enjoy my dinner, chill out. Well, we had our lunch at that bench at the 8 mile mark. We're now nearly at 11, and that's 3 miles of just, I don't know. Oh, we came off from the beach, we hit Waterloo, picked up the canal into Netherton, and since the canal, it's been nothing but people walking the dogs, people walking on the paths. These are all sort of like parkland areas and waste grounds where people can come and just walk the dog, and it's kind of, you just find yourself craving a bit of woodland, a bit of the boonies, away from people after a bit. And I know Liverpool has a reputation, and that's all it's been for me, just a reputation. I've had no reason to worry or to question any of the people I've encountered or any of the areas. Everyone's polite and friendly. I have nothing negative to say except the litter. But yeah, you just find yourself craving a little bit of alone time on the trail. So this goes all the way up to I don't know what the farm was called, it's just a random farm, and then we're going to break west from there, and it's going to be dog legs through farmland and farm tracks all the way to the car. Really, there's nothing. Ince Bundle, I think it's called, small little settlements, little villages. So I'm hoping that the last part of this trail is going to be you know, a bit more sparsely populated, bit fewer people. Can just get my head in the right place, because two things. That was the first one, just struggling with the amount of people, and second, not really connecting with this trail, not really winning me over. There's been nothing sort of seriously wrong with it, everything's gone to plan. You know, we've got 6 or so miles left. Not been an issue. Terrain's been relatively flat, but just not able to connect with it yet. And I'll see how I feel by the time I get back to the car. But it's just the way it is. I'm not going to worry myself about it. And I do feel a little bit exhausted, and I don't know why, as I said before. I'm not going to let that bother me either. I'm just going to plod on, one foot in front of the other. Yeah, nice to have a bit of alone time. Well, the bonus here is I'm not stuck for benches. Well, the weather's held up, at least. It has been. It's never really got warm, hence why I'm still wearing the windbreaker. But the sun is behind the clouds. I can see where it is, but it hasn't rained. Not like it did yesterday. Absolutely threw it down. Oh, I'm just going to have 5 minutes on this bench. We're at the 12-mile mark. Not feeling a brew just yet. And because we've gained a bit of mileage as usual, I've got 5.5 left, so I might have a break later on. Not quite ready for it, but I will just give the legs a rest. I do feel better for being out in the middle of nowhere on this very straight path, and as you can see, it's semi-paved. It's more of a cycle route, but the Transpennine Trail again. I don't know anything about that. We'll have to look into it, but keeps cropping up, a bit like the Leeds Liverpool Canal. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a break now. Chillax. No, there you go. As if in answer to my question, the explanation of the Trans-Pennine Way on that notice board. 344 clicks is around 240 miles from Liverpool to Hull. So that's what we've been jumping on. It's the old railway lines. That's quite fascinating and quite tempting as well. Yeah, what a cool little trail. Really glad to be out now. Definitely feel a lot better out in the boonies. And we've got that sunshine trying its best to break through there. Fantastic. And apart from a few cyclists, we're not getting many people down here. Here we are at a crossroads on the Trans-Pennine Trail. We are now going to break off west, heading towards farmland on a public footpath. Again, tracks, so not expecting much in the way of mud. And if it wasn't for these ugly power lines, we'd have a beautiful view. But yeah, now definitely 4.8 miles back to Hightown, back to the car. Bit of dog legging, as I like to call it, through these farms, following these green dotted lines on the OS map. Now we should definitely get some peace and quiet, I think. Leave the Trans-Pennine Trail behind us. Thinking about that 214 miles. If I was going to do that, I'd start at Liverpool. Man, I wouldn't want to end at Liverpool. Reminds me of Hadrian's Wall, where if you're ever doing Hadrian's Wall, highly recommend you start in Newcastle, because trust me, you don't want to do all that hiking and end at what is the less pleasant end of Newcastle, if I'm going to be honest. Bowness on Solway, where it ends, is a lot nicer. There's a nice pub at the end as well. Yeah, I do believe that where you start and end a long distance trail is a big deal. It's worth doing some research. We've got the Cotswolds Way in 2023. I've done all my research for that. I just need to get out, and I would like to walk it, as I've said repeatedly. But that ends at Bath, so it starts in a nice place and ends in a nice place outside the Abbey, so no worries there. Man alive, I feel like I've been walking for hours. Come from all the way down there. I've got this glider buzzing around my head. Apocalypse walking, I call this. Straight line plodding. Still prefer it to the first part of this trail. So behind me is Baines Bridge, and this is the River Alt. And originally I wanted to walk along the River Alt back to Hightown, but on the satellite imagery there was no obvious track, and on the map themselves it has a track which is the black dash and a dot, which it's a very odd symbol. That it is a track, but it's not a track, and it's not always a track, and you find them on moorland a lot. I'm never confident actually walking on them. Again, now I'm boots on the ground. There's literally, if you look behind me, 2 berms, one on either side, and they've got well trodden paths, and both north and south, which is the direction the river's going. I can see actually a couple over there, there's a couple back there walking it. So now I know that I would be able to plan accordingly, but try as I might, I just could not see it on satellite imagery. And I even did the thing where you drop the little guy down onto the road and spun round to see if I could see anything. I was just a bit too dubious, but I'm not bothered. So we're crossing the River Alt. We've got, sorry, let me just check with Gary, 3.3 miles left. I'm really feeling that can of Monster. I'm not hungry at all, and it's only about 2:30, so we've made good time, and very much happy now for this part of the trail, which I think is going to make us end on a high. But again, we'll debrief back at the car. Committed the crime of all crimes. Spilt some on my Monster. Wearing it. Right, so I wasn't hungry, and as I came around the corner I felt very hungry. Don't worry, I'm in control. I've actually started drinking more of these than I do coffee, especially at work. I find these do more of a good job. The original and best, by the way, full fat and sugar. That's a thumbnail pic right there. That should be the cover of this video, but I don't think it's going to be. I'm just kidding. But yeah, the original and best. Just over 2 miles left. Sun's going down quick. Should be going dark about 4 now. End of November. Yeah, what a difference. So much happier now out in the boonies, away from the hustle and bustle of civilized world. Yeah, it just gets a bit, I think most hikers feel the same. Not necessarily that they have a problem with people generally, it's just that when you're in the hiking zone, and when you're out hiking, your mindset is the boonies. Thought I heard voices. And so when you're suddenly faced by people, it can be quite off-putting, quite anxiety inducing. Not that it caused me any anxiety, just you kind of like, yeah, I want to enjoy this by myself. But on the other hand, the positives are a new cup, 2 cans of Monster. You give, you take. Yeah, very happy now. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you haven't already checked out the video from last week, the only reason I'm plugging that video is for the sake of Bowser's Hill Farm. They were so accommodating, so great to have a local site that we can wild camp at, quite affordable. I think it's only £37 for 2 nights, open all year round, and the people there are brilliant. So yeah, I'm plugging the video not so you can go and watch my videos, but mainly because I want you to go and watch the farm, see it for yourself, and decide whether that might be something, if you're in the area, you might want to stop at. But yeah, really do appreciate that site. I hope they don't mind the fact that we didn't realise, but we churned up their field. I think we were the first people to wild camp since the heavy rain, so they didn't seem too cut up about it. Well, next time I'll park in the car park and then we'll just ferry everything across rather than do any damage. Hate to do that to a site that's looking after us, but it was accidental, we didn't do it on purpose. And you can see from the video Tim has to get his car towed out. But by the by, it was great to catch up with Denby. Known Denby for years, probably since he was 17 when he was first an apprentice. What a guy, he's proper matured into a man. Moved on from where he did his apprenticeship and gone to BAE, and just, yeah, what a guy. Always great to catch up with him, and obviously Tim and my son I see every day. But yeah, we tried to get another guy, old friend Jimmy P, back, but he was having none of it. It's good to just catch up, chill out, cook some food. Good times, man, good times. So yeah, go watch the video after this one, of course. Finish the video first. Cheers. I appreciate any farmer who makes an effort like this to respect public footpaths and divert it around their farmland rather than just be awkward about it. So this is good. I'm liking this. Man, what a day, eh? Started off grey, wet. Now we're getting this beautiful, beautiful sunset. Almost clear skies. We've got some cloud, which turned out very nice, and we've got less than a mile and a half left. We're road walking, and this is the same road that I came in on to park up near the station at Hightown. But yeah, what a way to end the day, such a turnaround. The mood this morning in Waterloo and Netherton, bit down, bit miserable. Now we're straight back up, back doing what we do best. So yeah, absolutely stunning. Enjoying this last little mile and a half. That totally has to be the name of a pub, surely. Donkeys and hot chocolate. I'd call my pub that. And there we go, back at the car. You can see it's 4:15. The evening's well turning in now. It's getting very dark. Well, we got off to a shaky start, I must admit. Let me just get the map out, the black and white map, because I'm hoping for a new printer this Christmas. So right now we're in Hightown. That's in Liverpool, obviously. Well on the coastline. Just down from Southport, if you've ever been. You know the area. Got Blackpool, Southport, Lytham St Anne's, and then down to Liverpool, obviously, Crosby. So we followed the dunes all the way down the Sefton coastal path. We hit the sculptures, so there was 100 of them. And man, this stretched for miles. So that was Anthony Gormley. His sculptures, 6'2" each one of them, 650 kilos of cast iron each one, and each one had a tag on it as well. So it's quite impressive, very grim, very overcast at that point. And my mood wasn't brilliant even at that point. So we carried on regardless, down to the marine lake, and then we started to see a lot of the heavy industry associated with the docks. And from there it was up to Waterloo, through some parkland, which I would have called wasteland. All the way through, so we're in Litherland, so it was Waterloo, then up to Netherton along the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, familiar territory. By then we were getting a bit angsty. I was a bit fed up of how many people were there. Obviously I was walking through urban areas, so my spirits were a bit low, but then obviously things started to pick up. We got to the Trans-Pennine Trail, and we hit that really long stretch. And from there on, the whole trail really picked up, really improved all the way back to the car. And as that sunset came in, wow, clear blue skies, beautiful sunset, some road walking, most of it was pavement. Topped it off, so kind of pulled it back at the end. It was touch and go. Originally plotted as 16 miles, we've added another 2 on. I will move over and put it this way here. There we go. Gary's Darter. So you can see 18.1 miles. Moved a lot slower today. Just felt sluggish, felt exhausted, like I'd just come off a big hike, even though we'd basically had 2 weeks off. Don't know what that was about. I'm not going to let it bother me. We just self-medicated with 2 cans of Monster. We had to buy a new cup, one of which I'm about to finish off the last of that flask and have it on the way home. I hope you're enjoying the Pilgrim Hiker hoodie. Never even took my coat off. It was that cold. I don't know what it reads on the meter. Oh, 10. Still 10, but didn't feel like it. That wind was cutting. So really never took the gloves of the coat off. Never really felt warm either. Just one of those trails. I don't know how else to describe it. Sometimes you just get that way. Just cold. Can't get warm. Right, well, that's another one. We bashed it out. We did it. We've seen the Crosby statues. That came about because I saw somebody else's post on Instagram. He'd been to him, so I quickly checked where it was and thought, well, there you go, straight away. Good day hike there. And yeah, we're getting really close to Christmas now. We're at the end of November. We've got 4 weeks, I think, until I finish for Christmas, work-wise. Next Friday, I hope to get out. I need to decide on the trail there. I'm starting to bank up. I know I keep saying it on every video. I'm banking up multi-day hikes. I'm just not getting done. And it's kind of frustrating. I've done the budget for this month, and obviously with Christmas and with the car, the Adventure Mobile, I had to shell out a lot of money to keep it on the road. Otherwise, these videos are done. Big shout out, massive shout out to Mum and Dad. Dad stuck his hand in his pocket, went to the what he calls the Bezos tin, where he saves up, and paid so that I didn't have to shell out a massive amount of cash straight away. If he hadn't done that, there would have been no camping, there would be no trip this week. I basically would be stuck without a car. Big shout out, cheers Mum and Dad, thanks for that. Obviously, thanks to them for the hoodie. Thanks as well. It was my birthday, as you may have known. Big 4-0, didn't really care. Getting old isn't good. Family again, Paul, Mum and Dad, all chipped in for this, the Leatherman rebar. Again, going to field test it, but I've had a love-hate thing with having knives on the trail. I've decided I did need some kind of tool, some kind of multi-tool. So Leatherman have always had a good reputation for years and years and years. Wanted a really good one. It's got a good blade on it. You know, Leatherman, it's basically a pliers and the like. So thanks again to them. And yeah, there we go. I think I've given credit where credit's due. If I haven't, then I apologise. I'll catch up on the next video. And my camera's telling me that the battery's going, so I'm going to sign off rather than change batteries and get myself home. Got work tomorrow. Right, anyway guys, I've no doubt, as always, And I will see you next time back on the trail.